Hello and welcome in to Rochester Regional Stadium. It's FC Manitoba taking on Rochester FC here at RCTC Stadium. And once again, it's a chance for Rochester to keep themselves in the playoff hunt. It's been a rough stretch of games here, 2 consecutive losses to St. Croix Legends, and then a loss to Thunder Bay Chill just a few days ago. That one a 2-0 loss. The loss to St. Croix, a 1-0 loss. Definitely a game that Rochester should have won, had a chance to win multiple times, multiple goal-scoring opportunities that were spurned away from Rochester in the closing stages of that game. But they look to get on track here with FC Manitoba on tap, a team that is second currently in the USL League 2 Deep North Division, and a team that's done well in their past game. It was a win against St. Croix Legends, a 2-1 victory for the team from Manitoba. They come today with the exact same starting 11 as last night. Evan Barker in net, Aaron Hidalgo on the left, Kevin Garich and Ricardo Sepulvedo in the middle, Gianluca Bianchini closing out the back four. In the midfield, it's a midfield four of Diego Rivello, Mauricio Medina, Enrique Garcia, and Caden Tomey. And up top, it's the two big men for FC Manitoba that have done their scoring, done the job well for FC Manitoba. Ethan Cabral on the left, Tyler Attardo on the right. But those two players, they're free to go wherever they want up top between the two of them. For Rochester, it's a couple changes in the lineup that lost to Thunder Bay from a couple days ago, but in net it's the same. It's the captain, Kieran Brown. Playing left wing back for today is Adam Kirkora of Viterbo University. Center back 3 of Juan Jose Lopez Arteaga, Gabriel Herrera, and Tyreek Moore. Right wing back for today is Alan Amamovich. Midfield 4 of Jake Parrish, Diego Navia, Nico Cortez, and Warren Dini. And up top, it's Mirat Muic for this Rochester side. Rochester has not scored a home goal in over a month. Their last home goal was from Pedro Paredes in the 34th minute against Minneapolis City. So a big drought that needs to end quickly for the Loons if they want to remain in the playoff hunt. We'll take a quick break here at RCTC Stadium. We'll be back with kickoff when we return on the Rochester FC Network. I've been Arnaud Pokrell. Don't go anywhere. We'll have kickoff when we return on the Rochester FC Network. Underway at RCTC Stadium, and kickoff came quickly, too quick for us here up top, but we've got things underway, and it's Rochester controlling possession to start things off. Once again, switching to a 5-back from the 4-back that they deployed 2 days ago against Thunder Bay. Here's Tyreek Moore. Back to Herrera. Herrera's been a mainstay in this Rochester lineup. I believe played almost every single minute for this team, has started every game. Down to Juan Jose Lopez Arteaga. Back to Kirkora, and then back to Lopez Arteaga. And passing around the back has been Rochester's mantra these past couple games, but it's been what's come back to bite them. Rarely inventive on offense, rather content with holding on to possession, but unable to create anything in the attacking half. You can see the back three content to pass to each other, but no inventive passes going forward. There's no one attacking the ball, no one attacking offensively for this Rochester side. There needs to be opportunities coming in the final third as this ball is played long, looking for Mujic. The header forward will run all the way back to Evan Barker. But it seems like that's the strategy that Rochester is shifting to, playing the long ball, looking for Mujic up top or Jake Parrish to get ahead on it, bring it down, and then kind of squish Manitoba or their opposing team from 2 days ago, Thunder Bay, kind of squish them in the defensive half, force them to make mistakes. Thunder Bay did not make many mistakes on the defensive end, leading to a 2-0 victory. Both goals in the first half. Brandon Birmingham scored the first one in the 14th minute for Thunder Bay off of a calamity from the back. Kieran Brown played a goal kick to Juan Arteaga, who was not paying attention, hit off the back of his heel right into the path of Birmingham, who took a one-time shot, finished it over Kieran Brown, who was well off his line because of the goal kick. The second goal came on the counter. Two Rochester players going for the same ball. They both overran it. And Abdul Karim Per sliced through a couple Rochester defenders, scoring for the Chill, giving them that 2-0 lead that they then held on for the rest of the game. But it's a new game and a new opportunity for Rochester to create something offensively. Early foul from Mudic on Ricardo Sepulvedo. It's going to be a free kick here for Sepulvedo on the near side. They'll play it back to Kevin Garrich. Ball last off of Dini on the far side for Rochester, so it's going to be a throw-in for Manitoba. Something interesting to note, both club owners, club presidents, as you may call them, on the pitch for both sides. Mirat Much with the ball now for Rochester as he gets taken down, complaining about the call. And on the other side for Manitoba, Enrique Garcia, the club president for FC Manitoba, also on the pitch. As there's a diagonal ball across, and Manitoba clear forward. Here's Ethan Cabral. Ball in. Kieran Brown came out, but let it run back for a goal kick. And goal kicks caused Rochester some issues in their last game. It wasn't just the one mistake, but it was consistent mistakes over and over again for this Rochester side. Turning the ball over deep in the defensive zone, allowing Thunder Bay to attack with efficiency. As ball is back on the near side with Herrera. Goes down to Lopez Arteaga. Long ball from Lopez Arteaga intended for Dini. He touches it down to Parrish. Parrish the long ball. It's a high ball spiraling up. Krakora does well to bring it down. Krakora turning. Loses control of it. It's brought down by Medina for Manitoba. And now Rochester bring the press. Trying to pinch Manitoba in their own defensive zone, but they do well to clear out of it. To the far side it goes, and Aaron Hidalgo. And the long ball to Cabral, who's got space. Cabral driving on Tyreek Moore. Speeding past Moore on the left side. Cuts it back, and Diego Navia there to clean things up for Rochester. Cortez, Moore, and over to Mamovic. Up ahead from Moore, but it's right into the path of Manitoba. And inside, Diego Revello. The shot, big save from Kieran Brown. A reaction save to push the ball away in the 6th minute. Turnover from Rochester, and Manitoba with a chance to attack again. Here's Revello. Outside, the cross comes in. It's headed away. And Rochester will let the ball run out the back for another goal kick. On the near side with Lopez Arteaga. And one interesting note in this game, the best player in the reverse fixture, the one that happened in Manitoba, it was moved due to weather to an indoor facility. Rochester struggling with that move, and the game ended up 4-1 in favor of Manitoba. The lone goal for Rochester scored by Geoffroy Letienne from the penalty spot. But one of the best players in that game was Riley Moore, the winger. Created a lot from the outside. in a game that Rochester really struggled to create. The Rochester was slow in that game, had just came off a game against Thunder Bay 2 days earlier where they beat the Chill 2-1. As here's Deeney driving on the near side. Gets the ball taken away from him. And Manitoba with a chance to counter quickly. Here it is on the far side. Cut back. The shot well over the bar. A good goal-scoring opportunity for Manitoba. But it's blasted over the bar from Ethan Cabral. And that's not what Cabral is used to doing. In that scenario, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, Cabral puts it away. Instead, Rochester get away with one. And Kieran Brown having a conversation with Tyreek Moore, telling him what he did wrong or what he did right, or what needs to change for this Rochester back line to stop giving up those counterattacks. Once again, Riley Moore, the omission from the lineup. He's on the bench today for Rochester. Was unanimously one of the best players on the pitch in that 4-1 loss, and we'll see if he can make an impact as a substitute if he comes on later in the game. Ball over the top to Mujic. It's brought down well. Mujic touches outside to Krakora. Krakora inside Cortez. Cortez the long ball. Switch over to Imamovic. Imamovic with space. Driving on the right side. I'll cut it inside to Parrish. Parrish back to Cortez. Down low to Navia. All the way down to Krakora. Inside looking for Deeney, but the ball's touched away. Recovered well from Lopez Arteaga. Lopez Arteaga trying to backheel it to Navia. It's well off the mark, and now a chance to break for Manitoba. Numbers up, and Rochester do well to defend. It's Herrera driving. He'll play back to Imamovic, inside to Navia. And Rochester defend again. Parrish dropping in deep. Over to Lopez Arteaga. Now back. Lopez Arteaga again. He's looking for that long ball up either to Mujic or the switch over to either Cortez or Imamovic. When it's not there, he's content to pass around the back. Moore all the way down to Lopez Arteaga, who's got tons of space if he wants to take it. Manitoba just holding their pressure at the 50-yard line as Lopez Arteaga plays a ball over the top to Mujic. Mujic trying to flick it off of Manitoba. He's pushed off the ball. And Manitoba clear away. Lopez Arteaga, the last one to touch it. We'll see if Moore can get there in time, and it looks like he will. And he'll play back to Brown. Over it goes from Brown to Herrera. Herrera up the middle. Parrish flicking it on to Imamovic, who's running on the far side. Here's Imamovic. We'll pull it back to Parrish. Parrish, a long ball ahead to Mujic. Mujic had Imamovic. Instead, we'll roll it off to Navia. Down low to Imamovic. He's offside. The flag comes up. Well worked from Rochester. Navia, Mujic, and Imamovic finding each other in space. And the run from Imamovic just a split second too early. He's offside. It'll be a free kick for Manitoba. Down low, Enrique Garcia. Long ball up. Moore heads it down into the ground and right back into the path of Manitoba. Now the long ball from Garcia. Moore heads it, but it's going straight up, and Cabral's going to have a chance to get down on this one. Cleared away in the end from the Loons. In from Manitoba. Across. Gianluca Bianchini. Bianchini driving and cutting on his left. It's a late reaction from Brown, but he gets there in time. Brown will roll it out, and it'll go eventually down low to Lopez Arteaga. Looking ahead, finds Dini. Here's Dini for Rochester. Inside to Parrish. Parrish switching it outside Navia. He's got a sprinting Imamovic in front of him. He finds him. Imamovic now looking for the cut-in. Still driving Imamovic. Finds a through ball to Parrish. Looking across, he had Mujic in the wrong spot at the wrong time, and it's cleared away by Manitoba. A really good offensive opportunity there from Rochester. Mujic and Imamovic working well, and Parrish as well in there. But Rochester unable to capitalize. Manitoba clear away. Pressure from Moore, and he wins the ball back cleanly for Rochester. Up ahead from Rochester, but it'll be Barker to collect, and he'll distribute from his feet. Garcia over on the left side, Hidalgo. Inside, Mauricio Medina does well to get away from Cortez. Now a chance to switch play for Manitoba, and they do so. Here's Bianchini. Cleared away by Dini, but it's going to be a throw in deep in the attacking zone for Manitoba. Touchdown, back to Bianchini. Bianchini will cross it in. It's a good cross, good-looking ball, but cleared away by Rochester. Parrish up ahead looking for Mujic. Headed away by Kevin Garcia. Sepulvedo up ahead to Medina. Looking outside, Imamovic will let it run out of play. Pressure, Brown touched away from Manitoba. It's out of play. Brown took his time there at the back. He got away with that one. Ball hitting off the hand of Parrish. It'll be a free kick for Manitoba on the near side. Ball out of play on the far side, and it's going to be Manitoba's ball. Manitoba based out of Winnipeg, and it's a good day for all Canadians. It's Canada Day, July 1st, celebrating the anniversary of the Canadian Confederation. And we were honored before the game to have Chrissy Studio here in Rochester singing both the Canadian and the American national anthems. I want to extend a thank you to Christie Studio for being so willing to do that. As there's a ball in. Brought down by Manitoba. Caden Tomey over. Into the box it goes. It's cleared away by Rochester. Through contact. Diego Riveo was looking in a dangerous spot there, but it's going to be a Manitoba throw in here on the near side. They look to go quickly and do. They find Tomey. Inside, Enrique Garcia. Headed away by Moore. Over to Krakora. He'll bring it down. Look to clear it away, and it's out of play on the near side is what the referee will call. Precora in disbelief at that one, but it's another corner for Manitoba. First corner of the game for Manitoba. It's a deep corner, well over the head of everybody. It'll run out of play on the far side, so it'll be a goal kick for Brown. So Precora's mistake will lead to nothing for Manitoba. He'll get away with that one. Rochester have really struggled giving up early goals in games, but so far it's been clean from the back three for Rochester. They've yet to keep a clean sheet on the season. Their two closest opportunities to keep a clean sheet were probably the two victories against Thunder Bay and Bavarian in the season opener. Bavarian scored one in the 67th minute. Thunder Bay, Rochester held a clean sheet all the way until the 98th minute, when the winger Alexander Hebert brought a Thunder Bay player down in the box, leading to a penalty that Thunder Bay then converted. Nico Cortez loses that one. It's brought down by Tyler Attardo. He's driving to space, tackled well by Juan Lopez Arteaga, and a chance to break for the Loons. The long ball up ahead. Mujic will let it run to Parrish. Parrish brings it down well. He's got help from Dini. Here's Dini cutting inside. Back to his left. The shot blocked well by Manitoba. And it's out of play on the near side. It'll be a corner for Rochester. Good work from Mujic to let it run to Parrish, who then found Dini. But just good defense from Manitoba in the end. But it'll lead to a corner for Rochester. It's a low corner driven in, flicked up in the box, headed away from Manitoba. And here's Caden Tomey, but he loses it. Lopez Arteaga will take a shot. It's blocked by Garcia. Inside Navia, back out to Dini. Dini all the way across to Krakora. Krakora to Mujic. Mujic down line looking for Lopez Arteaga. And it's off of Lopez Arteaga for a Manitoba throw-in in their defensive half. Lopez Arteaga heads it back to Navia, who brings it down. Navia trying to get around Bianchini, but Bianchini stands well. Great tackle there from Bianchini to stop an opportunity for Navia. Long ball up ahead, looking for Cabral. Moore is grabbing onto his back. And there's a foul call from the referee. Tyreek Moore, a little bit too handsy there with Ethan Cabral, just trying to stop him and allow the Rochester defense to come back a little bit. Not a bad foul to take there if you're Tyreek Moore. Once again, Manitoba played just yesterday. A 2-1 victory against St. Croix. Here's Bianchini, crosses in. It's a great ball, but it's touched away from Rochester and then eventually cleared away by the Loons. Here's Dini on the counter. Looking up ahead to Mujic. Mujic has Dini back if he can find him. Plays a pass. He's got Dini. Dini brings it down and touches wide of the post. Another goal-scoring opportunity for the Loons, and Dini just a little too aggressive there. Had the opportunity to take a touch and bring it down. Instead, try to go with the one-time shot, and it's wide of the post. Throw in for Rochester on the far side. Ball played in to Mujic, brought down by Parrish. Parrish will switch it all the way across to Krakora, who will bring it down. Krakora inside, Dini. Dini worked back to Cortez, and then Cortez will switch it all the way back to Imamovic. Imamovic passes down to Mujic. Mujic looking for the back heel. It's off of Manitoba. And then Manitoba will play it off of Mujic for a goal kick. Manitoba up ahead. Atardo. Worked back. They find Enrique Garcia. Garcia will play as a 6, but then when the wing backs for Manitoba, the outside backs, I should say, get forward, Garcia will drop back and make it a back 3. You can see why there. A chance for Dini to counter, and Garcia got in the way quickly to halt that one and give Manitoba possession back. Ball over the top. It's a great ball. Finding Atardo. Atardo has options. We'll play it back to Tomi. Outside it goes. Reveo. Chipped in. It's headed away from Herrera. Brought down by Dini. Inside to Navia. Outside, Lopez Arteaga. Back to Moore. Imamovic with it on the far side. He'll play it back to Tyreek Moore. Of course, two Moores on this Rochester team. Tyreek Moore and Riley Moore. Not related, but they do play at the same college in Western Illinois University. Western Illinois plays out of the Summit League, but they'll be making the switch here soon to the Ohio Valley Conference. That one just announced pretty recently, as Moore has the ball again. It's played back to Brown. Brown just graduated from Fort Hays State. He'll be taking a grad year and playing soccer at University of Indianapolis. University of Indianapolis, D2 school, so Kieran Brown making the switch from Fort Hays to Indianapolis, staying in the Division II ranks, plays in the GLVC. Here's Reveo. It's a turnover. Jake Parrish, his touch a little too long, but he finds Cortez, and Cortez goes over the top to Dini. It's a great-looking ball from Cortez. Dini brought down. Navia will retain possession for Rochester. It's got Mujic. Mujic is offsides. Parrish unhappy with that one. Navia only had eyes for Mujic there. Didn't see Jake Parrish wide open at the back post. Parrish was also onside, and that's one that Rochester are going to look back on and think about if they end up losing this one. But so far, it looks good from both sides. Manitoba's had their chances. Rochester has had theirs. Manitoba dominating possession a little bit more, as they do here with Sepulvedo. Back to Bianchini. Garcia now up. Medina. Inside. Now back out to Hidalgo. Hidalgo's crossed into the box. It's a good-looking ball, but dealt with by Rochester for now. Bianchini will retain possession. Will actually leave it off there for Cabral, who's dropped all the way back to this one. Cabral, the big switch, but it's going to be Imamovic who will head it forward to Tomi. Imamovic will win it back, though. Make up for that missed header. Up ahead, Parrish. Parrish fighting to retain possession and does well to find Krakora.
Kikora back to Parrish. The pass too long. And Manitoba hold on to possession. A turnover. Navia steps in the way. Mujic driving. He gets past one. Step overs. He finds Parrish. Parrish brought down. There's the foul called. Parrish remains down. It's a yellow card shown for Manitoba in the 28th minute. And it's a dangerous free kick opportunity for the Loons. Yellow card shown to number 24, Kevin Garcia. And it's Mujic standing over this one alongside a left-footed Cortez. Dangerous free kick from 20 yards out. So well within shooting distance for Cortez or Mujic. Mujic will let Cortez take it. It's a good-looking ball, and it hits the back iron of the post. Cortez got enough curl on it to get it towards frame, but just off the mark for Nico Cortez. A good-looking ball in there from Cortez, looking for that left post. Just didn't get enough whip on it. But Cortez will intercept the ball in the midfield, find Navia. Navia with options will lay it off for Lopez Arteaga. Lopez Arteaga up ahead to Dini. Dini surrounded by Manitoba players. There's a foul called, a hip check there from Mauricio Medina. Number 6 getting the foul for Manitoba, and another free kick and a dangerous opportunity for Rochester. Cortez heading towards the ball, having a conversation with Navia as well. This Rochester side is not the biggest in terms of size and players who can head the ball. Their best option right now is probably either Adam Krakora, Gabriel Herrera, or Mirat Mujic. It's going to be Navia to take this one. A two-man wall for Manitoba. Cabral, one of the two. As Navia looks to lift this ball into a dangerous area. It's a good-looking ball from Navia towards the back post. Headed down. And just wide of the right post. Dangerous from Rochester, but no one there to get that final touch. Manitoba go quickly. The ball out. It's well off of Hidalgo's mark, and the goalkeeper, Evan Barker, unhappy with that one. You know he'll want that one back. Just a poor mistake from a goal kick, and he didn't have to rush it at all. Rochester do well to pass out of the press. It's Tyreek Moore with it now. Inside Herrera. Herrera directing traffic for this Loon side. He's formerly of a Division I school in Lindenwood University. As this ball flicked ahead from Navia, looking for Mujic. Mujic brought down hard. It's going to be a throw-in for Manitoba on the far side. Much to the dismay of Coach Narvaez and the rest of the Rochester side. It's a throw-in for Manitoba on the far side. Manitoba push forward. A lot of players squish into that far third of the field for both sides. Manitoba will look for the switch. Play it back. Garcia all the way back to Barker. And here comes a switch from Manitoba. To the other side, Sepulvedo, and he'll switch it back to Garcia. Up ahead, Hidalgo. Now the long switch comes, looking for Bianchini. He does well to bring it down. Great touch from Bianchini. The flick ahead. Kieran Brown there for Rochester. Here's Navia outside Krakora. Krakora back to Lopez Arteaga. Outside to Moore. And Mamovich, looking for help, is forced to go all the way back to Brown. Brown touches forward. He'll clear it away. Mujic well offside. He'll let that one run out of play. Not like he had a chance to get there anyways. As it's out of play for a throw-in. Manitoba throw it in. Touch it down well. Here's Reveo. Inside, and it runs long and cleared away by Herrera. Only as far as Sepulvedo. Krakora wins it back for Rochester. Finds Dini. Dini inside Parrish. Parrish has acres of space. Plays the long ball back to Dini, but Sepulvedo will get there first. Sepulvedo turns Dini around and finds Tomey in the middle. Free kick for Rochester on the far side. Moore across. Herrera. Up ahead looking for Dini, but it's going to run wide of him. Sepulvedo will play it all the way back to Barker. Pressure from Mujic, and Barker plays it out of bounds. Barker has struggled with the ball at his feet today as Rochester move quickly. Imamovic with it now. Across to Navia. Up ahead looking for Dini, but it's into the hands of Barker. Up ahead for Manitoba. Final 10 minutes of the half, and nothing to separate the two sides, although both sides have had their chances. Foul called on Rochester. It'll be an opportunity here for Manitoba. It's going to be Hidalgo to take for Manitoba. Lifted in, but right into the path of Brown, who collects. Dini across. Inside Navia. Outside to Krakora. Back it goes. Juan Lopez Arteaga with time. He'll find Herrera. Up ahead, and it'll run all the way back to Barker. Rochester missing out on a couple of key players today due to injury. Javon Ramos, the midfielder, has made 6 appearances for the Belize national team. Out today with an injury to his groin, and Mate Kenyetic, the Hungarian striker who scored the first goal in the away game against Thunder Bay. The number 9 for Rochester missing out on today's game as well due to injury. As here's Lopez Arteaga, doing well to hold on to it and find Navia. Outside to Navia. Inside to Dini. Dini will hold on to it and turn forward. Working inside with Cortez. It's off of Dini last and then cleared away by Manitoba for Rochester throwing down low. Into the 40th minute we go. Rochester still down. Rochester tied 0-0. They're not down at this stage of the game. Cleared away by Manitoba for another throw-in for Rochester. It's taken short this time to Parrish, who does well to bring it down and turn. Mujic letting it run behind him. It goes through his legs, and Barker will bring it down. Barker rolls it out to Garcia. Garcia with the yellow early on. Throwing on the far side with Manitoba. Dini wins it back for Rochester. Brought down by Mujic. Back to Cortez and all the way back to Lopez Arteaga. Worked around to Herrera. Like we said earlier, Herrera of Lindenwood, formerly played at Lindenwood, a D1 program, was named a program's captain just as a sophomore. And has now announced that he is transferring to University of Tampa, so a Division II program that excels in the Division II level. So he's going from Division I program at a mid-major school to a D2 program that's one of the top D2s in the country. As here's Diego Riveo. Work to the outside. In Cabral. Inside to Riveo again. It's going to be a free kick from right outside of the box. A dangerous spot here for Rochester to be in. I thought that one was in the box. That foul on Cabral. But it's an opportunity for Hidalgo, who's standing over it alongside Atardo and Enrique Garcia. All of them nearby the ball. It's a 20-yard free kick opportunity for Manitoba. A lot of players in the wall for Rochester. It's 5. It's going to be Hidalgo. He stands alone. Has options to his left or right if he wants to take them. But from 20 yards out, don't count Hidalgo out here. Rochester all holding 10 yards out from goal. The shot from Hidalgo, it's in! Top corner shot from Aaron Hidalgo. What a strike to give Manitoba a 1-0 lead in the 43rd minute. Aaron Hidalgo, take a bow. What a strike from 20 yards out. Top corner, nothing Kieran Brown can do about that one, and Manitoba take a 1-0 lead. Can't help but tip your cap to Aaron Hidalgo. Found the top corner, and it's a 1-0 lead for the away side. So Rochester concede first again at home. In their last home game, it's been 5 consecutive home games where they've conceded first. The only one they didn't concede first was the first win of the season, that home opener. Numbers here for Rochester. Mujic. Cleared away only as far as Imamovic. Rochester with 3-on-1 there. Alan Imamovic loses the ball there for a second. Manitoba take advantage, but he'll get it back here. Forward to Parrish, who tried to chop it back to Imamovic, and Parrish has gone down. Parrish will get back up and limp off for the Loons. We go back to that opportunity there that Rochester just had 3 players on 1. Just one defender back from Manitoba. Everyone thought that Rochester was hanging out off sides. A lone defender kept them on. The center back, Kevin Garcia, kept Mujic, Parrish, and Imamovic on. And Mujic just unable to do anything with the ball. He passed it right into the path of Garcia. Back to Brown. Brown will play it long. We're into extra time in the first half. A lone goal from Aaron Hidalgo. A chance to break for Rochester. Danny holds on to possession. Back to Lopez Arteaga. This Rochester team just hasn't taken any risks this season. Dini could have ran forward with it into space, instead held it for his team. It's a bad touch from Tyreek Moore, and he's lost. A chance to break for Manitoba at the end of the first half. It's a shot, and it's a strike into the top left corner. Tyler Attardo, it's 2 quick-fire goals for Manitoba, and it's a 2-0 lead at halftime. Tyreek Moore's long touch leads to the Manitoba goal, and they take a 2-0 lead. That'll be the lead going into halftime, most likely. As in the final 5 minutes of the half, it goes from 0-0 to 2-0 for Manitoba. The free kick from Hidalgo. The strike from Attardo on the counter. And just like that, this game has gone from bad to worse for Rochester. Talked about conceding in the first half, talked about conceding first in games. Rochester did both of them in this one. Ball back to Moore. And there's a halftime whistle. 2-0 the score at halftime. 2 goals in the final 5 minutes of the half. The difference as Manitoba take a lead going into halftime via a free kick goal from 20 yards out from Aaron Hidalgo that he blasted into the top right corner. And then Tyler Attardo took advantage of Tyreek Moore's poor touch. Got past Tyreek Moore on the one-on-one opportunity and then lifted it into the top left corner. Kieran Brown left helpless there on both those goals from Manitoba. It's 2-0. That's the halftime score. We'll have the second half when we return here at RCTC. You're watching the Rochester FC Network. back at halftime as we get set for the second half of action. FC Manitoba with a 2-0 lead over Rochester FC. 2 goals courtesy of Aaron Hidalgo in the 42nd minute and Tyler Attardo in the 45th minute. Both of them Rochester mistakes a foul, and then Hidalgo scored on the free kick, and Attardo scored on a counter after a poor touch from Tyreek Moore, and then Tyreek Moore proceeded to get burned on the one-on-one. So that's the difference so far in this one, but 45 left to go for Rochester to try and claw their way back into this one. Flicked on by Cabral. Attardo over to Rivello. Rivello brought down. That'll be a free kick for Manitoba. Turnover for Manitoba. And now Cortez will play it all the way back to Moore. Moore back to Cortez. Back to Brown. One substitution at halftime for Rochester. Jake Parrish went out injured. You saw him take a foul there in the closing stages of the first half. He's being replaced by Ferris Kolic of University of St. Thomas. And Ferris a little bit more of an out-and-out striker compared to Jake, who's more of a 10. So if Rochester's looking for goals, it's going to be Kolic who's going to have to deliver for this Rochester side. On the far side, it's going to be Lopez Arteaga with the throw in for Rochester. No ball. Flicked on by Cholic on the outside. Krakora looking for the cross, and it's going to be another throw in for Rochester. Krakora can go long here. Looks like he'll try. So he'll leave it off to Lopez Arteaga. Lopez Arteaga will go long. It's into the box, flicked on by Cholic. But Manitoba clear away. Attardo, and eventually cleared away. Moore will put it back into play into the attacking zone for Rochester. Bianchini on the far side, boots it away. Brought down Lopez Arteaga, and then Manitoba with a chance to turn. It's into Imamovic for Rochester. Up ahead, Dini. Dini's got an option here. Letting it run was Cortez, and it's poor from Nico Cortez. He had space and he had time to get a touch and shoot. Instead, tried letting it run back to Krakora behind him for a cross, and another goal-scoring opportunity thrown away by Rochester. You've got to put the ball in frame. Evan Barker hasn't really been tested today. Imamovic heads back. Kieran Brown clears away. It's going to hold in play here for Navia. Navia now driving through the midfield. Outside Krakora. Krakora's got help in Nico Cortez. Nico switches play to the right side in Imamovic. He's driving down the near side now. Here's Imamovic. He's got pace, he'll leave it off for Dini. Dini inside Cholic, flicking on, looking for Imamovic. It's headed away by Manitoba. Nico Cortez will touch it out of play for a Manitoba throw on the near side. Headed away by Navia. Clipped away. Enrique Garcia looking ahead, trying to find Atardo again, but Kieran Brown will bring it down and play it out with his feet to Lopez Arteaga. Across to Moore. Up ahead, Imamovic. Imamovic plays it long, looking for Mujic. It's long and brought down by Sepulvedo. Now back with Manitoba on the far side. Reveo and Medina working well. Here's Medina back, Bianchini, and eventually back to Sepulvedo. Across to Garcia. Correction, it's Barker playing away. Headed down by Imamovic and into the path of Cortez. Up forward to Imamovic. Inside Navia. Navia across. Lopez Arteaga touching inside. Back to Navia it goes. Navia outside Imamovic. Imamovic driving one-on-one. A little bit of a slip from Imamovic, and he stood up by Caden Tomey. On the far side for Manitoba, driving into space, but Lopez Arteaga intercepts well. Up ahead to Dini. Dini's got time and speed to drive, and he does. Here's Dini, still going, cutting inside to his right. Dini, back inside to his left. He's got options in the box. It's Ferris Cholich, his only option, really. And then he's eventually tackled off the ball. He's got to get rid of it there on the near side, but positive from Dini driving in space. Just unable to do anything with the ball in the final 10 yards. Brought back to Herrera. You got to at least put a shot on frame or get a cross in if you're Dini there. It's up ahead, Cholich. Navia. Poor pass from Cholich, and it's Cortez unable to intercept, and Manitoba drive again. Enrique Garcia. Outside Bianchini. Bianchini hasn't been on the score sheet today for Manitoba. Both goals were unassisted, and he doesn't have a card yet, but one of the most consistent players on the pitch for Manitoba is Bianchini. Gianluca Bianchini has not made any mistake today. Goes up when he needs to, drops back for this Manitoba side when he needs to. As Dini passes out of trouble, finds Navia up ahead. Mujic. Mujic between the legs of Garcia. He's brought down. It's going to be foul called. And a substitution upcoming for Rochester. Spencer Dunlap's going to come in for the Loons. The player from Appleton, Wisconsin. Was a star at Appleton East High School and redshirted his first year at Iowa Western before leaving the program. He's still looking for a college to play at now in the fall of 2023. As a long ball comes in from Rochester right into the hands of Evan Barker, who stands there comfortably and holds on to it. He'll roll out to Sepulvedo. Up ahead, acres of space in the midfield for Medina. Through ball comes Atardo driving. Shot, forearm save from Kieran Brown. Another stop from the Aussie. Now fighting forward is Dini. Mujic will get onto it. And Dini will get the ball back. Up ahead looking for Cholich. Headed back to Barker. And Barker will throw it out to Hidalgo. Hidalgo scored the first goal of the game from a free kick in the 42nd minute. An absolute stunner from 20 yards out. He bent it into the top right corner. Imamovic on the near side. Bad pass from Dini. Imamovic and Dini not on the same page there, and Moore will intercept. Moore driving now. He'll roll it on the ground to Cholich. Cholich's pass is poor. Navia will retain possession for Rochester. Navia and Attardo. Both getting a talking to here from the referee. Forcing them to shake hands before resuming play. We're into the 57th minute now. Closing in on the 58th as the substitution is Krikora off, Spencer Dunlap on, and he'll play up top with Mujic and Cholich. So Rochester switching to a 4-back now. Bringing off a defender, putting on a midfielder. Here is Dunlap. His first touch of the game is a good pass outside. Lopez Arteaga sprinting to get there in time, and he does. Looking for that return pass to Dunlap. Instead, it's off of Manitoba. So Dunlap's first touch is positive. Here he is now with the ball on the near side. On the far side, it's off of Manitoba. And it'll roll out to the sideline. It's kept in play well. Rivello. Good tackle from Navia. Navia this whole season has been a force to be reckoned with in the defensive midfield. Here's Imamovic, back to Mujic. Mujic goes down in the box, calls for a PK, but it's half-hearted. Manitoba get away with one there. Navia inside to Dunlap. Dunlap has it taken away by Enrique Garcia, but it's worked back to Moore. Over to Herrera. Herrera's looking long, and we'll clip it over the top to Mujic. Mujic will roll it back to Cortez. Back to Navia. Outside again. Imamovic. Back to Cortez. And the switch from Rochester to Herrera. Rochester possessing well in the attacking half, just can't get into the attacking third. As Lopez Arteaga lifts a pass in. Two players colliding for Rochester, and throw in for free kick for Manitoba on the far side. Up ahead to Cholich. Flores on the far side. looking for options, cutting inside. He goes down in the box. There's a call for penalty and a chance for Rochester to get back in the game. The question is, who takes it? It'll be Cholich to take. Here's Cholich from the spot. He just earned the penalty for Rochester. Went down in the box, a harsh tackle, and a chance to bring it back for Rochester. Here is Cholich. Barker jumping around in net. Cholich, the shot saved by Barker. He guessed the right way. Now Barker goes down. Backup goalkeeper for Manitoba. Getting warmed up on the far sideline as Barker continues to get checked out. Cholich put a lot of power on that shot, and it hit off of Barker's chest and shoulder area. So we're assuming that's what's keeping Barker down here. Take a break here as Barker continues to get looked at. We'll be back here quickly. Back in action here. Barker remains in play. For Manitoba. Here's Imamovich. Battling forward on the near side and he'll hold on to possession. Lifted in Cholich. Cleared away by Sepulvedo. Lopez Arteaga heads away to Imamovich. Imamovich will bring it down, back to Moore. Cortez now, back to Herrera. Turnover from Rochester, numbers ahead for Manitoba. It's a 3-on-2. Herrera and Moore back for the Loons. Big tackle from Gabby Herrera to halt the counterattack and a chance to break again for Rochester. Goal kick for Barker. He'll take his time. 25 minutes left in regular time. In the Loons' last home game of the season, they've got 3 away games to close out the season. Once again, a loss or a draw here ends the Loons' playoff hopes this season. Calls for a handball there on Garcia. Instead, it'll be out of play on the near side. Outside, Navia. Navia finds help in Moore. Ball flipped to Imamovic on the near side. Dini loses out on it. And a chance to break in between the legs. Atardo with the Meg. But Herrera clears away. Back to Dini it goes. He plays a first-time ball outside. Dunlap. Dunlap lifts it in. Far post. Barker there in time. The press from Rochester, but Manitoba pass out of it well. Long ball over the top. Looking for Cabral. Moore heads down. And now Herrera with time. Riley Moore is going to make an appearance for Rochester. We'll see what he comes on for. There's a flip to the other side, and offsides is the call. Dunlap on the far side, a little too aggressive. So Mujic comes off. Ferris Trolich will move up top, and Riley Moore will head to the left wing. To the other side, and Lopez Arteaga. Back inside to Navia. Driving down is Imamovic. The cross. It'll fall for Dini, and his touch is poor. And a chance to break again for Manitoba. They've got numbers flying down. Another 3-on-2. Here's Cabral. Outside Rivello. Rivello's helping the box. And Rivello tries to clip it in, and it's quickly away from Brown. Here's Moore on the far side. Riley Moore will bring it down. I'll play it back. Lopez Arteaga. Back to Moore goes on the far side. Inside to Dini. And across to Navia, who will eventually bring it down. Trolich in the middle. Help on the outside and Moore. Trolich lifted it way over Moore. Trolich has really struggled this season. Just missed a lot of goal-scoring opportunities, and simple passes for Trolich has been the struggle. Headed away by Herrera. Brought down by Moore. He'll flick it ahead, try to play it off of Manitoba. Instead, it's off of him last. It'll be a throw-in for Manitoba on the far side. Sepulvedo plays the long ball, and into no man's land. And Imamovic will have the opportunity to bring it down, and he will. He's got space on the near side now. Imamovic. Back to Moore. 20 minutes left in regular time. There's the long ball. Looking for Dunlap, and Dunlap will bring it down. Headed back to Imamovic. Does well to keep it in. Imamovic to Navia. Navia now working. Gets past one. Looks for Imamovic down the right side. It's cleared away well by Hidalgo. The goal scorer doing work on the defensive side of the ball as well from his left back position. Imamovic throwing it in, looking for the head of Cholic. It's off of Manitoba. Hidalgo with the last touch. He'll get to the ball and push it out for a throw-in deep in the attacking zone for Rochester. Set pieces have been a struggle for Rochester this season. They've scored only off of one corner, and even then it was the rebound of the corner. And that one off of Imamovic for a throw-in for Manitoba on the near side. Inside, Navia gets the ball. He's got help on the outside in Dini. Dini outside to Moore. Moore touches it down. It's too far and cleared away by Manitoba. Lopez Arteaga now with it on the far side for the throw-in. Long throw from Lopez Arteaga. Cholic flicks it on. It's going to fall for Dunlap in the box. A shot, the goal! Yes! Spencer Dunlap strikes home in the right corner to bring it one back for Rochester. It's 2-1 in the 72nd minute. How about that from Spencer Dunlap? Off the long throw-in from Juan Lopez Arteaga, flicked on by Cholic, and then cleared away by Manitoba. No assist, but Dunlap in the 73rd minute gets one back for Rochester. Rochester need to press 2 goals if they want to remain in the playoff hunt. They need a win. A draw does not help them. Now the intensity showing for Rochester. Long ball from Manitoba. Juan Lopez heads back to Brown. Brown looking for options. He'll quickly roll it out. Long throw from Lopez Arteaga. Throw it quick. Back for Rochester. Now Imamovic on the near side. Back into Navia. Back to Gabby Herrera. That also breaks a month-long scoring drought here at RCTC. A 2-week break is included in that, but they hadn't scored a goal since the Minneapolis City home game. So it's 3 straight home games, RKC, St. Croix, and Thunder Bay, where Rochester failed to score. Dunlap breaks that streak with his 72nd minute goal. Hidalgo with it now. Working in space to Cabral. Turnover. Navia trying to get it back. The second tackle called. And Navia is going to be shown yellow. So Navia is shown yellow. Medina standing over the free kick for Manitoba. It's 3 substitutions on the far side for Manitoba. First one, Ibalu Amuri, number 2, comes in. Number 9, Diego Medina, also in. Imamovic with it now. Looks like he came in for the goal scorer, number 11, Atardo. Here's Dunlap, defended by Amuri. And one more sub that we'll get to you here shortly. Number 20, Sahan Barazande comes in. As Rochester look for Imamovic, but it runs too long for him. Here's Amuri, a good cross in. It's going to run long. Medina with a chance to get there, and he does. Had help on the overlap, instead elects to play it back to Enrique Garcia. Now over. Mauricio Medina across. Aaron Hidalgo. Inside of Amuri. He loses it. Navia now plays a one-time pass up ahead to Cholic, who's brought down hard. The ball's still moving. That Cholic trying to play quickly. Instead, it'll be brought back to Cortez. Gianluca Bianchini, the final sub off for Manitoba. Number 20, Sahan Barzande in for him. So triple substitution for Manitoba in the closing minutes as they switch to a more defensive formation and try to hold on to this 1-0, 1-goal lead, in the final 10 minutes. Rochester, the latest goal from Spencer Dunlap in the 72nd. Foul called on Dini. Substitutions for the Loons. They were forced into one at halftime as Ferris Cholic came in up top for Jake Parrish, and then Spencer Dunlap came on, as well as Riley Moore. Dunlap came on for Krakora, and Riley Moore came on for Midat Muic. Imamovic throws it in quickly, but he's forced to throw it in again as there were 2 balls on the pitch. Imamovic looking forward, looking for help. Finally finds Navia. Navia up ahead, great pass to Dunlap. Dunlap will flick it to himself. Cut back, he's got help on the far side and Moore. Moore's got acres of space on the right side, now closed down by Barzande. He'll take a shot. Riley Moore, it's loose in the box. Cholich can't get there. What a strike from Riley Moore down to Baker's left. But Barker gets down and makes the save. Navia brought down hard from Manitoba. Moore, tons of space on the far side, cut into his right foot, whipped a great shot on frame, forcing Barker into the first save. The ball kind of rebounded right in front of him, and Cholich unable to get there in time. Another missed opportunity for the Loons. 8 minutes to go in regular time. There's going to be a fair bit of extra time, a couple injuries, and the Rochester goal, and the scuffle that broke off after. It's a good ball to the back post. Lopez Ortega loops one. It's over the post and over a sliding Dunlap, but it's positive for Rochester. Rochester showing press. Cholich hanging out right on top of the 18. And now he'll back off. Barker looks to go long. And he does. It's a great boot from Barker. That might run all the way back to Brown. Instead, Moore will head it forward. Amori brings it down. Over Enrique Garcia. Medina back to Garcia goes and clipped in over the top. Herrera headed down, but right to Amori. Now cutting into his left with a shot. Did Brown get a touch on it? Yes, he did. Big save from Brown. It's going to be a corner for Manitoba. And a correction there on the sub. Bianchini has stayed on. It was Riveo who went off. So Zahan Barazande came on for Riveo, moving number 4 Bianchini into the midfield. Said it earlier, Bianchini has been one of the more consistent players for Manitoba today. Really hasn't put a foot in the wrong direction, even if he may not be on the score sheet. Good work to the far side. Here's a shot. Here's a save. Kieran Brown again from close range. Rochester moved quickly down the right side of Imamovic. The cross in, it's off of Manitoba. It'll go out of play. It'll be a corner for Rochester. Cortez lines up the corner. Lifted in. It's a good ball. Lopez Arteaga taken out from under him. Foul called on Lopez Arteaga going over the back. And free kick upcoming for Barker and Manitoba. Long from Barker again, looking for Amuri. Headed away by Imamovic. Brought down Dunlap. Back heel. Dunlap trying to find Navia. Instead, it's a turnover. Navia does well to win it back. Dunlap outside, Lopez Arteaga. Up ahead, Dini. Dini will let it run. Has options. Inside. Cortez letting it run through him. No communication from Rochester. It's poor again in the attacking third. There's the cross in. Dunlap will bring it down. Dunlap up ahead. Driving Dunlap. Gets past one. Gets past two. He's brought down again to the box. No foul called. A great run from Spencer Dunlap. But to no avail for Rochester. It's all the way back to Brown. Final 4 minutes of regular time. Rochester still searching for that equalizer. They got one back in the 72nd minute due to Dunlap. Since then, it's been constant pressure from Rochester, but Manitoba has been bend, don't break. They've switched formations, more defensive. They've got defenders in the midfield now. Bianchini's up there. Enrique Garcia making his way further up the pitch in order to help with the defensive effort. Here's Cortez. Back to Navia. Back to Cortez. Back to Navia. Navia does well. Driving inside. Navia still going. Cleared away by Manitoba. Only as far as Herrera and back to Lopez Arteaga. Clipped in. No one there for Rochester. Dunlap turns well. The cross in the box. Cholich brings it down. The shot. Yes! There's Cholich celebrating for Rochester. He's going to get a yellow. But it's an equalizer for the Loons. They still need to press, though. It's not over yet. There is Cholich, the goal in the 88th minute. In what's been a tough season for Cholich, he gets one back, and it could be crucial. Still need one. They're not content with the draw. They can't get a draw this one. Everything gets a little bit more interesting here in the closing stage of this one. Things freezing, things are breaking, but just scored it 2-2. Trying to get him back and running here. In the Cholich has an equalizer. It's 2-2 in Rochester. And for Manitoba, Lopez Arteaga with it now. He's brought down hard. Foul called. Two-two into extra time. Rochester need another one to keep their playoff hopes alive. A chance for Rochester. Driving in the cross. It's going to be deflected and away by Manitoba. Navia clips it back in. Away from Manitoba and a chance to break for the side from Winnipeg. There's a foul. Chance for Rochester. We're into extra time. Imamovich driving. Has help in Dunlap. Dunlap lifts one in. It's deep. Over the head of everybody. Riley Moore will get onto it on the far side. Moore back to Dini. Dini driving into space. He'll take a shot. It's deflected. It's going to be a corner for Rochester. Everybody on their feet at RCTC Stadium. Anxious. Shared points does not help either side. Both sides got to go for the winning goal here in the end. Cross in. Punched away Barker. He'll get the second ball. Brown lucky to get away with one there. Second ball, long shot. Barker will collect. Up ahead again. Tyreek Moore heads forward, looking for Cholich. Cholich is touched, unable to get there in time. Driving in is Manitoba. Cleared away by Rochester. Up ahead, Dini's well offside. He can't get there in time. Cholich has an opportunity to win a header. He does. He's got more on the far side if he can find him. There's the advantage played. It's going to be a free kick for Rochester. Rochester does well. Everybody in the box for Rochester. Here's Moore. Looking for an option. Trying to split the defense. Unable to do so. A chance to attack again for Juan Lopez Arteaga. He's brought down from behind. All ball, says the referee. Big tackle. What a tackle from Navia. Cross into the box. No one there for Rochester. It's touched out by Manitoba. It's going to be a chance from the corner. Rochester need a goal. They want to retain their playoff hopes. One of the last chances of the game. Into the box, cleared away by Manitoba. This could be the end for Rochester. Attacking again. Trying to keep it was Dunlap. It's cleared away by Manitoba. Brought down by the Winnipeg team. It's touched away, but retaining possession is Manitoba. They attack down the right side. It's scooped ahead, flicked on. Moore with the big header. Lopez Arteaga hit in the face. Yellow for Manitoba. Closing stages of this one, and it's just as intense as ever. Incredible fight from this Rochester side, but it may just fall short in the closing stages. Red card to Manitoba, but it may be too little too late for the Loons. Everybody's got to go up now. So a double yellow shown to Bianchini on the same infraction. He got a yellow and then got the second yellow for insubordination back to the referee. So Rochester will play up a man with one last offensive possession to go. As they wait to clear the pitch from Bianchini. And, well, Bianchini played an incredible game. You have to give credit to Gianluca Bianchini. Incredible game. Just a slip up here at the end for him, but do not count anything of that against him this whole game. He's been incredible for Manitoba, been really solid, really consistent, whether he was playing right back or even when he got moved to the midfield, playing an entirely new position. Bianchini was solid for the Manitoba side. A really reliable player for this FC Manitoba side. As we're pushing on into the final stages. Up ahead, cleared away. Navia gets it, and there's the final whistle. Incredible fight from Rochester, and while it isn't confirmed that Rochester will miss the playoffs, this effectively ends their hopes of getting that second spot in the Deep North Division. But still an incredible game between the two sides. FC Manitoba comes down, takes a 2-0 lead. Rochester get 2 goals back in the final 20 minutes. The 72nd minute strike from Spencer Dunlap, the 87th minute strike from Faris Cholic means the final score is 2-2 in favor of neither side. The points are shared here at RCTC. That'll be all from now. I've been Arnaud Pokrell, and the rest of the Rochester Broadcasting Network. I want to thank you for an incredible USL League 2 season. We're done in terms of USL League 2 home games. We've got one more USL W League home game tomorrow at 1 p.m. Chicago Dutch Lions travel to Rochester to take on the W League side. We'll have that game for you right here on the Rochester FC Network. The USL League 2 side, 3 away games to end the season, looking to end the season on a high. Once again, I've been Arnaud Pokrell. I want to thank you for tuning in, whether you're in Rochester, whether you're in Manitoba, or anywhere around the world. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been an incredible USL League 2 season. For the last time on a USL League 2 stage, I'll say have a good night and have a good weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow.